Good morning, everybody. This is Gabriel Swaggart, and welcome once again to another one of these video blogs. Today we're going to be starting a new subject. It's going to cover more than likely today, tomorrow, and much of next week. And it might take a little bit longer, but it just all depends on how long it takes for us to get through this. But I want to deal with the subject matter that I feel is necessary to the believer, and it's the subject of prayer. We're going to go through in the next few days the Lord's Prayer. We're going to cover the Lord's Prayer. We won't begin on it today because there's some remarks I want to make about prayer. But we want to cover the Lord's Prayer, and we want to explain what it is and what each thing means, and how that this is more than just mere words, but it is a guideline as to how we are to come before God and pray. And then I want to deal with the persistence of prayer. I preached a message on that in Crossfire some little bit ago, but the persistence of prayer, the perseverance of prayer, and then going into asking, seeking, and knocking. So we have a work cut out for us here over the next few days. And with the Lord's help, I really believe that He's going to help us to give us some insight regarding the subject of prayer. Now, before we do all that, as I mentioned, I want to spend today and make some opening remarks about prayer that I think is very important and very vital to the believer. Prayer is more than just saying words. Prayer is relationship with God. Whenever a person begins to pray, he is coming before the throne of God, seeking His counsel, seeking His face, and seeking a relationship with Him. Prayer is just talking to God. We live in a time, ladies and gentlemen, that for the most part, I would dare say the majority of Christians in this nation, I'll just take this nation, not around the world, but just this nation, that the majority of Christians in this nation praise a God they no longer pray to. Now, did you get that? The majority of Christendom right now praises a God they no longer pray to. Prayer is a lost art. Prayer is something that most people don't do. The most that anyone will ever pray now in today's age is over their food, and that's kind of fading by the wayside. Prayer is our relationship. Without prayer, we have no relationship with God. We can't know Him. When you begin in a relationship with someone, if you don't talk to them, that relationship will not last. But if you talk to them, you get to know them, they get to know you, you open up to them. There begins to form a relationship, a closeness, a bond. It's the same with the believer. We have something, or someone, I should say, at our disposal who wants to bless us, who wants to provide for us, who wants to give us what we need. Not what we want, what we need. Two totally different things. And yet many fail to even do that. They begin to search and they go to the world for all the different things that they need, when God is saying, I've got inexhaustible resources. If you just come to me and seek my face and turn from your wicked ways, then I'll take care of your needs. Praying is not easy. Praying is not an easy thing. And I'm not saying this to build myself up, but I'm just being truthful. I seek God every day. I have to. With everything that He has entrusted in my hands, and it's not a lot, to be honest, but it's enough for me. I need His direction. I need His answers. I need His wisdom. I need His leading. I seek for His anointing. And the times that I don't seek Him, I know it. I feel it throughout the day. I'm missing that quality time with Him. Every morning, after I drop off my girls at school, before I come into work, I'll generally spend anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour somewhere parked on this ministry property. And I begin by just going before the Lord in prayer and seeking Him, asking Him direction for the day, but direction also for the rallies coming up, for Crossfire, for IYC, for camp meeting services, for seeking Him regarding just my daily activities, because I need direction. I won't go into a lot of detail, but just this morning there were some things that, well, let me back up a little bit. There have been things that I have been wondering about in my mind for days. And it's really been a struggle in my mind. And it's just been dominating my thought. Lord, how do I do such and such? Lord, I don't know how to do this. How do you want me to do this? And I mean, every day seeking Him, asking Him. Last night, almost midnight, I was wide awake. I couldn't sleep, and I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden something popped into my mind. And it was almost like an epiphany. You know how sometimes you, wait, where did that come from? And I began to write it out. It was something that I had been asking for. And I began to write it out on my phone. I don't keep a notepad or a pen. I just write it on my phone. It's midnight and I'm going through this and I'm thinking, is this God? I finally went to sleep and I woke up this morning with that in my mind, and I'm still wondering, Lord, did that come from you? And in prayer this morning, I went to Him. I said, Lord, did that come from you? And I'm not going to say I heard an audible voice, because I didn't, but I felt a peace come over me regarding that situation, that I felt it was from the Lord. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't ask Him. That wouldn't have happened if I didn't seek Him. And there are things right now that you need to seek Him about. And the greatest tool that we have is prayer. Seeking His face, going before Him, communicating, talking, laying out your frustrations, laying out your needs, just telling Him everything. Remember, God is the one person that can provide and meet your need. I can't. No one else can. But He can. Now tomorrow we're going to begin our subject on prayer. And I really felt like this when I came in here this morning, and I was looking at some things, and I had something that I was going to deal with. It had to do with prayer, but it was later on in the chapter of Luke chapter 11. And I began to look at the first words of that 11th chapter, and I felt in my spirit that I needed to set the groundwork, and we needed to teach on prayer. And I pray that this would be something that you would get a hold of and utilize. It's only to your advantage. It's only to your advantage. So be here with us. We're going to start tomorrow with our teaching from Luke chapter 11, beginning in verse number 1. And this is found as well in the other Gospels. Teaching of Jesus Christ teaching His disciples how to pray. So don't miss it. We love you. God bless you.